Hey, what's up, everybody? The Amazing here. This time I'm bringing you a review of the Max Factory Figma Saitama One Punch Man from the series One Punch Man. Let's get started. First and foremost, I want to start by saying this figure is long awaited by many people. Ever since a lot of people who read the manga were excited for the show, and then tons of people just kind of jumped into the show, and now they all know about it. So I have him. I started off posing him by having him holding his Heroes Association mug, and there's a hand dedicated to that. So you get this one hand dedicated to it. But real quick, I want to show up the Heroes Association mug. It actually has a very nice decal on it, and it has green tea in it. So that's pretty cool. It's one of the accessories that comes with him. But let's jump into the figure. First and foremost, I want to start by saying this is one of those things where you get just a plain old Figma body. So I'm gonna take off his cape and show you what it's all about. Now, as far as articulation wise, you get basic Figma proportions. It's not really double jointed, but it goes in about as far as this. You can rotate all the way around. You can go up and down. It rotates across. But obviously there'll be some points where, it doesn't really come over. So there's no butterfly joint, anything like that. It's straight up just single jointed, that kind of curves in enough. Now, as far as the torso goes, it's actually pretty good. It has a pretty decent ab crunch going forward and backwards. Please be careful here at the waist area. Now, what happened here with mine, I'm going to explain. Mine's came with like a really bad glue job. So you can actually still rotate it, but inside the piece is like a PVC. It's like you were building a statue from Ban Presto, and it's just two pieces kind of glued together. So I glued it, fixed it, so I can still rotate it left and right, but it can definitely still pull out. So please be careful. Then as far as leg crunch, I'm all over the place here. Sorry about that. Now, as far as the leg articulation, you can still rotate in and out. You can have him cross his legs. You can have him do this, but still not double jointed really, but goes far back as it needs to be. The number one main issue that I have is that it just looks weird trying to do poses where he's jumping forward. And that's mostly because of the neck peg, and I'll get into that in a second. But jumping forward, I mean, it's not that bad, but it's also not that good. Like, again, this is a basic Figma body. Now, the one thing I was excited about is that he actually has ankle pivot. And that's something that Figma kind of always just kind of goes, I'm going to ignore this because we don't really care for ankle pivot. It's something that they actually added in on figure. So I thought that was pretty dope. It's really good. Now, as far as the neck articulation, I was a little pissed off because I'm going to take it apart. You have a really nice neck peg, and it's actually really secure in there. But as far as the head and the joint, it's their basic Figma ball joint. So rotating on it is actually a little weird sometimes because it doesn't always rotate left or right. They didn't give you enough space to kind of tilt the head side to side, only to really go up and down, not left or right. So it's a little bit of a downer, especially because the cape hinders a ton of that. This is my biggest negative about the figure right here. It is the cape. I feel like Figma should have went the Thor route and gave it soft goods and wired it, but they didn't. Instead, they gave it this. This, in my opinion, is a piece of crap. Because when you put this on the figure, and it gives you the clear piece for the stand and also to hold it into his back, you have to understand the weight of this will sometimes bring the figure down. Then on top of that, if you want to rotate it while it's on the figure, and I'll show you now. Oop, and there I go dropping a piece. So I'm going to align it with his back, and then I'm going to show you why this is such a hindrance. And you can already tell by now because the way I'm doing this, it's actually quite annoying. So you plug it into his back. Already it's hindering the neck ability, which is already hindered enough as it is. Then for the cape to go out, you have to balance the figure, which is great. Sometimes you can do that. It's great standing still. Now rotating it is a different story because it always pulls the peg out. So to make it look good, you actually have to do tons of work. And then again, doesn't support the back weight. So you gave us a figure that can't support its own weight, but then you gave it this cape. So it's a little bit as backwards of them on my behalf. At least me thinking about it is that you could have done better and gone soft goods. You just could have. Now, as far as the cape go, it has joints right here on the side. You can rotate it in and out. I'll do tons of pictures at the end where I show you how you can work your way around it. But then dropping that. And like I said, you can actually plug a stand right through the back of it. That'll hold Saitama up actually pretty well. But again, not everybody wants to use the stand, so I understand. But yeah. Now, besides that, as far as hands that he comes with, I've already shown you the dedicated hand for holding his tea. There are 2 open palms, as you can see here. You actually get 2 hands for holding items other than that. So if you want to hold like sticks or weapons or pipes, anything like that, any funny things or gag-wise that you want to get with him. Then there are 2 relaxed palms that you get with him, which are really cool. And then you get obviously you get fist, because you can't be One Punch Man if you can't make a fist, for obvious reasons. The other alternative head that you get is his serious face, which is still goofy in its own way. I really like it, actually. But I feel like the downside to it is that they didn't give him his okay face. I was really hoping for that. The okay face is like a big thing for me. He does it so many times. And then there's the iconic scene, in episode 13. So really was hoping that would have been included, but it wasn't. Now, as far as height, so let's give him a height comparison next to a Marvel Legend. It's pretty small compared to a Marvel Legend. This is a height comparison to an SHF Goku. It's actually pretty cool. It's in there. This is it next to Vegeta. Because, Vegeta's actually short. So this one is actually, I like this comparison a lot more. Because, Vegeta's a short guy. And then, what else do I have to compare it with? I gave it like a Marvel Legend. Oh, here we go. My Orc. So as you know, Orc's actually pretty big. So it's pretty much bigger. So One Punch Man as a small guy actually stands nice comparison when you do him comparing it to anyone else. It actually looks really cool. But between the terrible cape and the lack of articulation on my end, I think that if you wanted to do ACBA stuff, if you want to do crazy toy photography, if you wanted articulation out of this, this is not for you. But if you wanted a standard One Punch Man figure that's actually really dope and just stand there, it gets the general likeness down pat, I think this is what you want to do. Oh, before I even go, I almost missed this. He comes with the cross arms. I don't know how I almost forgot about this. So you can actually pull the arms out, right? Really dope. And I almost forgot about this, so I apologize. But you plug them in separately. Don't plug them in together because it'll give you issues. But you plug them in, and then you actually rotate the joints to come in and around. And that's why I said don't put them in together, because you have to actually make them meet up a certain way. And voila. Now you can be super serious, but I'm also late for a date. It bees like that sometimes. You can do the Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm waiting. Or, do your best G code. It's all good. But like I was saying, before I forget anything else, if you want down general likeness of the figure and just getting the general apathetic One Punch Man of Saitama, you could totally nail it with this figure. If you plan on doing crazy toy photography or having them beating up other people, you can still make it work. But it is a lot of work. And I just wanted to say, if you wanted to do that, you might want to go and get a custom for other stuff. But overall, general likeness, they've nailed it. It's just I wish Figma would put a little bit more effort into their stuff and stop backtracking on certain things. But that's just my opinion, and that's fine. But overall, if you want to get the figure, I think you still can get it and enjoy it. If not, it's totally fine to pass on. But if you are a big fan of Saitama, this is a must-have, because there's no really other articulated figure coming out, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do Geno soon. So take advantage of that. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, please direct them towards my Instagram, because it's easier for me to answer. You don't even have to follow me because my Instagram is public, so you can just ask me questions. If I have an answer, I'll answer it. I try to get around to pretty much everyone, so feel free to do that. But hope you enjoyed the review. Hope you enjoyed the pictures at the end. You guys take it easy. Be good. Drink your water. And keep your hearts full. Later.